Hey you, yes you, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers and the odds of you being subscribed to the channel are very small. So if you're new, it would mean the world if you'd subscribe and join the Woods crew to help me go full time. Hope you all enjoyed today's video. Woods out. Trae Young has been one of the most interesting prospects to come into the NBA in recent years, and although some people may not see it now, the way that Trae Young plays will change the league forever, which is why so many people have thrown shade at him in the past year. And today we will be discussing exactly why Trae Young has become one of the most hated players in the league today, and why the decision the NBA will have to make revolving around him will be very interesting to say the least. But before we dive into today's video, it would be absolutely clutch if you hit that like button below if you end up enjoying it, because it truly does help the channel grow in a big way. With that being said though, let's dive right into today's video.
Trae Young is good and promising, and I believe he would get better with development in college against players more on his own level.
Trae Young is remotely comparable to Steph Curry because he shouldn't be uttered in the same breath.
Maybe
Steph
5,
Curry.
6 years in,
He
Skip.
will not. He will not.
I'm not really sold on Trae Young.
I think it's honestly pretty crazy how the perspective of a player can change so quickly in a league like the NBA. I mean, last year, Trae Young was literally an all-star because of the way that he had been playing fresh into the league, and people had really never seen this style of play before, so they loved it. Well, until they realized how annoying it was to watch the same thing night in and night out. Let me just make this clear, I am not on either side of the Trae Young play style because there are some very good aspects to this game, along with some that make you want to put him on the bench. But regardless of what I think, at this point in time, it is clear that a majority of fans have changed their opinion on Trae Young, because even though he was an all-star starter last year, he's not even on the team anymore. Now, even though some of you might say that this is because of the fact that Trae Young and the Hawks haven't been playing very good this year, it doesn't really matter, because Trae Young has had just as good of stats, and the NBA All-Star game is basically a popularity contest, and that's just a fact. And at this point, it is clear that most NBA fans are unhappy and even disgusted with Trae Young's playstyle. But let's just get right into what we have seen out of Trae Young and why it has led so many NBA fans and even basketball fans in general to dislike him. Let me just say that, like it or not, Trae Young is changing the game. We've seen several special players over the years doing what Trae Young has done right now. Some of them were people like Steph Curry, who is a once-in-a-lifetime game changer for the NBA, and others were smaller, less notable names who created a change, which I think is more or less where Trae Young will end up compared to like Steph Curry and all those good guys. I think there is a huge misunderstanding between Trae Young and NBA fans at this point. Trae Young so far in his career has been known for taking some of the deepest threes in the league, using unique moves to get around defenders like the nutmeg, and the thing that has been the hot topic of lately, which is initiating exaggerated contact to try and get some fouls called. But back to the misunderstanding of Trae Young. Is drawing fouls like he does the way of the game of basketball should be played, especially at the highest level? No, not at all. But who can blame Trae Young for doing this? Because guess what? It's working. Players like Trae Young and Luka Doncic have been shredded this year for leaning into defenders and getting calls from the ref, but they have been getting to the line almost every time they do this, so it's no wonder they keep doing it. Now don't get me wrong here, this is a negative change to the game in my eyes. Trae, Luka, and all the others who are changing the game with their constant whining and attempts at drawing contact, it's just a really negative situation for the whole league. The question is, will the NBA step in and do anything about it like they just did with flops now that they are giving out warnings for that? Well, in my eyes, I think that Trae Young and company will be able to get away with this for a while because the league hasn't shown any initiative to stop it. But you have to wonder at what cost Trae Young will keep doing this, because it really is hurting his reputation as a player and just from NBA fans looking in. It is clear that this playstyle by Trae Young has made him one of the most disliked or even hated players in the NBA today. I mean, my man is a playmaking guard who has no capability on the defensive side of the ball whatsoever and is constantly whining to the refs the whole game about fouls. It's honestly no wonder he's decreased in popularity ever since he stepped into the league. But even though this foul drawing issue has given Trae so much hate, it could be the key for him to be able to take a leap as a player, as crazy as that sounds. I mean, drawing fouls is a bit of an art, and the best players in today's league are the ones who can get to the line the most and the easiest, because there is truly no easier way to score than getting to the line and knocking down some warm-up free throws. I mean, the man who is in MVP contention in talks in Joel Embiid is the only one who is getting to the line more on average every game than Trae Young, and it's clear that Trae Young isn't the only one who has been using this tactic of foul drawing, even if it is a bit over the top. So why is Trae Young really getting all the hate he's been getting lately? Well, the real reason is that some people may just be bitter because Trae Young wasn't a bust like many people said, as well as the fact that many people just hate to see the game of basketball evolving. Coming into the league in 2018, many people actually believed that Trae Young would be a big bust in the league and that the Hawks' decision to trade away Luka Doncic was a big mistake. Although it's clear that Luka is the better player out of the two by far, Trae Young is far from a bust and has been better for the Hawks than they expected. I remember it like it was yesterday though, the amount of NBA executives, reporters, and even players who believed that Trae Young wasn't even going to be close to what he is today because of his defense and shot selection. Now don't get me wrong here, the defense from Trae Young is still far from good like I said earlier, but it's clear that his shot selection has not been an issue because he can still knock down the 3-ball at deep range. Because of the fact that Trae Young has been proving people wrong with his style of play, there have been many people in the league who have been angry at Trae Young lately, such as Steve Nash and even his own teammate John Collins, who interestingly enough is on the trade blog now as we speak. Now I know that most of you have probably seen the Nash story about him saying what Trae does isn't real basketball, and what Steve Nash talked about is the exact reason why Trae Young has been getting so much hate. We see people who are out of the league criticize those who are still in it all the time. I mean, Trae Young isn't even close to the only one who takes heat, because just a couple weeks ago, Shaq flamed Donovan Mitchell when he said this.
Part of this is Shaq. I said tonight that you are one of my favorite players, but you don't have what it takes to get to the next level. I said it on purpose. I want you to hear it. What do you have to say about that?
All right. That's it.
That's it?
All right, that's it.
Okay, cool.
I mean,
I wanted you to hear it.
I've been hearing, Shaq, I've been hearing that since my rookie year. You know, I'm just going to get better and do what I do.
Good.
At the end of the day.
Well, that's what I wanted you to hear you say.
Yes,
Love
sir.
your game, brother. Keep it up.
Appreciate it.
Old players have been battling new players for the longest time, but I think it's just time to realize that the game is changing and you may as well stop hating, because there are going to be people like Steph Curry, James Harden, Luka Doncic, and even Trae Young who come into the league every single year and bring something into the league that the old timers are just jealous they didn't think of while they were in the league. Let's just take a look at the bigger picture here. Since 2015 or 2016, you know what all kids have been doing since they started watching Steph Curry take over the league by storm. Simply practicing their 3-ball. You watch a guard like Curry be the best in the whole NBA, and obviously there will be thousands of kids who think they can be just like that. And many people will even think they can make the league if they just get a good 3-point shot and can have handles. And well, Trae Young is just a product of one of those guys. Like I said, this isn't going away, and the draft class of Trae Young and Luka Doncic is just the beginning of a new generation of guards who have been working on their craft from the perimeter shooting, foul drawing, and straight up playing like it's street ball sometimes. And you best believe there are a whole lot of guards like this coming very soon into the league. In my eyes, Trae Young is just getting all the hate because he is one of the first. One of the first guards to utilize the wide open 3-balls near half court because he has worked on that shot so much that he treats it like a wide open free throw. One of the first to initiate contact on the perimeter and try to get to the line every single offensive possession. And one of the first to nutmeg some of the NBA's best talent and make them sorry they even stepped on the court that night. Honestly, I like this style of play, I'm not gonna lie. Sure, there are some bad things about it, like the constant whining to the refs or the foul drawing that is just straight up ridiculous sometimes. But like I said, who can blame Trae Young for initiating contact like that if it's working? The real issue here is the referees, and the NBA will either have to talk with them and know when to call the fouls, or make a new rule for guards like Trae and Luka who are literally jumping into defenders and getting the whistle from the refs almost every single time. The game of basketball in the NBA is changing, because now the league is so offensive heavy that as long as you have some range and can initiate the offense for your team, you're making it into the league no matter how bad of a defender you are. So honestly, there should be no reason that this man is getting hate, because he really is just a new wave of guards that will change the league forever. To say the least, it will be very interesting if an offense led by the style of play like Trae's can actually lead to wins, because as of right now, for guards like Trae and Luka, this has been far from the case to say the least. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, it would be literally clutch if you could subscribe if you're new and join the Woods crew, as well as leaving a like down below. That's legitimately all it takes for me to go full time. Regardless, I appreciate all you guys still watching. Catch y'all on the next one. Woods out.